A very good day, everyone. My name is Antony Adhish, and I'm a first year MBA student at Albert Institute of Management. Today, I'm going to present on the topic oligopoly and profit maximization. This topic is very important because oligopoly exists in many industries today, from telecom to automobiles and many more. So, without wasting much time, let's dive into the topic. So, let's begin with the most obvious question here. What is an oligopoly market? An oligopoly market is a firm structure in which firms cooperate with each other instead of competing. They form a cartel, just like an OPEC for oil. The industry acts like a monopoly to max the joint profits. The firms compete independently. Firms try to max individual profit while considering the possible reactions of the other firms. Now, let's look at some of the key characteristics in an oligopoly market. An oligopoly market is a market structure in which a few firms dominate. Products may be homogeneous, like cement or steel, or it can be differentiated, like cars or telecom structure. Firms follow a strategic behavior here. They carefully consider how competitors might react before making any decisions. Usually, they avoid price competitions and focus on non-price competitions like advertising, branding, and promotional offers. Let me give you a few examples for oligopoly market. Those will be telecom sector, airlines, automobile, cement, and beverage sector. In telecom sector, there are players like Jio, Airtel, and VI. They dominate the entire industry. Coming to cement sector, there are players like Ultratech, JSW, and many others dominate the industry, in which Aditya Birla's Ultratech is the market leader. So, we came to one of the most important topic of today. Why firms in an oligopoly market compete carefully. If one firm in the oligopoly market tries to reduce their price, the others will also try to reduce it, which leads to a price war between these firms. Let me understand you this concept with a small story. Suppose there are two airlines, one is Indigo and one is Indian Airlines. If the Indian Airlines tries to reduce their price, the Indigo will also do the same. And if they keep this thing up for a long time, it will create a void in the market. And this void will be filled by newer firms, which leads to a price war between all these firms. And eventually, the disruption of the market will happen. To avoid this, the oligopoly market will always compete carefully, which leads to another question. How exactly the oligopoly firms earns profit? Oligopoly firms earns profit through several methods. They can control the output to influence market price. For example, by reducing the production to create artificial scarcity. They can also differentiate the products by making customers less sensitive to price changes. Sometimes firms may enter into informal agreements or collusions to avoid competition, though this may not be always legal. Ultimately, their goal is to maintain the market power and earn long term stable profit. Now, let's move to profit maximization, which is the main aim of every firm. Basically, profit is calculated as total revenue minus total cost. But in economics, a firm maximizes its profit at a point where marginal revenue, MR, intersects MC, which is marginal cost. This means that at this level of output, producing one more unit would not add any extra profit because the cost produces it is equal to the revenue earned from it. If a firm produces more than this point, the cost will exceed the revenue. If the firm produces less, it will miss out an opportunity to gain profit. Now, allow me to explain this concept through a graph. So what you are seeing here is a profit maximization graph, which indicating short-term profit. So we can see price on the y-axis, quantity on the x-axis, marginal cost curve, average total cost, and a marginal revenue line. So marginal revenue line or MR line shows how much additional revenue the firm earns from each extra unit sold. The MC curve shows how much additional cost is incurred from producing each extra unit. The firm maximizes profit where MR is equal to MC, which is this point. At this point, the cost of making one more unit equals to the revenue gained from selling it. Producing beyond this point raises cost more than revenue, while producing less means missing out potential profit. The principle applies not only to oligopolies but to almost all profit-seeking firms. So, a rational firm will always try to increase this shaded area. Sorry, if a firm wants to go at this point, they can do that, but they will lose a lot of room. If a firm wants to go here, they can do that too, but they will also lose a lot of room for profit. So, as a rational firm tries to increase this all shaded portion, that will be better. With this, I came to nearly end of my presentation. In here, I will explain some of the advantages and disadvantages of the oligopoly market. The advantage would be, firstly, since firms are earning good profit, they can invest in research and development, leading to a better technology and innovation. Secondly, price tends to remain stable, which benefits consumers. Thirdly, firms often focus on quality improvement, which increases customer satisfaction. And finally, higher profits allow companies to expand and create more employment opportunities. The disadvantage would be since only a few firms dominate the market, prices are often higher than in perfect competition. Consumers might limit choices because firms may not compete aggressively. Sometimes companies even collide secretly to keep price high and divide the market among themselves, which can be unfair to customers and harmful to the economy. So, to conclude, an oligopoly is a market dominated by few powerful firms that avoid price wars and compete mainly through non-price strategies. These firms aim to maximize profit where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. Understanding oligopoly helps economists and managers make better decisions about pricing, production, and competition. Is one of the most realistic market structures we see today in many sectors like telecom, airline, and cement. So that's it for today, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.